everybody, how's it going? Carl Screezel here and I hope you're all well, and welcome back to ANZCAR here at Pocono tonight. Track that's probably not my favourite. Very different track, Pocono. Okay folks, we're off to qualifying now, so practice is over and done with. Results wise, not fastest, we're about 8th or 9th I think in total. It's going to be a tricky one tonight. Honestly, do not feel confident. That's what I've got to say. Don't know how this one's going to go in all honesty, because it's a bit of a tricky track. It's not a track I enjoy, first of all, so yeah, it's a tough one. I'm really struggling through turns 4 and 5, or turn 3, whichever way you want to look at it. So the midsection, basically, the top of the triangle, this corner we're coming up to next, is where I'm struggling the most, and I'm losing a lot of time through here as well. I'm just not getting the entry right, not getting the braking point right, just not getting the feel of the car quite right either through this section. Back end just wants to step out, and it just can't get it working through that corner for some reason. Gently back on the gas pedal because
green flag.
Start fishtailing here pretty quickly. Probably should have gone up to 4th a little bit earlier there. That's not going to help this lap. Either is that. Brakes a little bit late there. Lost the back end a little bit, which is not what we want to have happen. We only get one lap to do this now.
One more lap.
Concentration mode is activated. Bit of a disastrous session. Not what we want to do in qualifying.
Alright, there's the checkered flag.
Got us up to P7 at least, so we're not last. But I know I could have been a bit quicker there, so that's annoying, but oh well. What can you say? So yeah, not the best time there. We were way off pace there. But mistake in qualifying again. I really need to practice on that bit, because that's where I seem to be struggling the most. But you can see I'm almost 2 seconds off some of the fast guys here. Very, very tricky. Some very fast guys out on track, and some people that absolutely adore Pocono as well, because they're sadists, obviously. Good luck, folks.
Yeah, I'm going to need it.
Try and get some heat into the discs for that first corner. Obviously with the computer implosion that happened at the beginning of a couple of months ago, I lost 2 rounds of the series, so that was annoying. Still in the top 10 of the championship though, so I still got a relatively okay spot championship wise. But I would very much like to finish inside the top 10, that's my goal. Next race is it's either Road America or Watkins Glen, so it's a road course next as well, which is going to be interesting. Very different kind of racing on that, obviously. And these cars were not built to go around a road course very well. They're not like your average touring car, which can corner.
Get ready, going green.
Great round the left-hand corners.
Post car is off, time to do your job. Green, green, green. Car outside. Keep low. You're in the middle, 3 wide. Still there, still there. Clear inside, 2 wide. Clear outside if you want it. Outside. Still there. Clear outside if you want it.
Not going too aggressive into that first corner. You just see everybody struggles through that corner, just the car gets unsettled, unbalanced through there. Quite a few different lines people are taking as well at the moment. Concertina effect through the entry of the corner, of course, because everybody's starting to slow down. And just stepping out on us there mid-corner and losing a lot of speed down the straight because of that. You can see the difference it makes.
Inside. Stay high. Clear inside.
So easy to get the car just going laterally on you here.
Outside. Clear. Car inside. Clear inside. 2 wide. Stay low. There is a car on the high side. Clear outside if you want it. Car outside. Still there. Hold your line. You're in the middle. 3 wide. Clear. 2 wide. Clear.
Sorry mate, I didn't mean to carve you up on exit there.
Very much trying to keep tyres a little bit.
It's racing.
It's just pushed outside big time.
More alive here as well, so not pushing too hard at the moment, just because I don't want to wreck the tyres too quickly. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't struggling.
Still there, inside. Stay high, there's a car on the low side. Clear inside.
Sorry, Hamish, drifted up a little bit there, man. That's all good.
See how gingerly I'm going through that turn 4 or 3 or 2, whatever it is. Getting a loaded brake cell coming soon as well, because the rig I got doesn't have one in it. And that makes a difference as well, because obviously you've got a lot more travel on the brake pedal when you don't have a loaded cell in there. And it does make a bit of difference. I went from a loaded cell to a normal brake pedal again, and it took me a little bit of time to get used to the cell when I first got it, but I liked it a lot more when I had it, so... my Logitech G27, obviously, so I ordered one of them for this Thrustmaster series, and I'm going to see how that goes, see if that helps a little bit for the brake feeling, because it is just a little bit off at the moment. Tyre wear is starting to creep in, I think, for a few people. Not as bad as last time out. Well, we're getting down to 0 in like about 5 or 6 laps, but it's still pretty rough on the tyres here. So I'm hoping we might start catching up to people again as these tyres start to just wear down a bit for everybody else, obviously. It might help with my deficit on pace a little bit if I can just keep a bit more tyre life. So yeah, getting the cell hopefully this week actually. So if it arrives this week, obviously it's left. Apparently it's going to be arriving on Friday, but with all the customs and stuff, I don't see that happening. But you know, when it gets here, it'll be interesting. Hopefully, be able to get my actual H pattern working as well again soon. got the new cable for it. I just need to do the actual get it working side of things now. So have to tweak it and things like that. Hopefully the cable's working, and hopefully the actual input and things like that are correctly working, and you know, all the usual things with a second-hand wheel and stuff like that that you find that tend not to work sometimes, or tend to work in certain phases of a moon, or you know, certain times of the year. If you sacrifice a lamb before you actually start racing, you know, usual things like that. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's a to-do thing at the moment. A bit too hot there and just going up the track. Don't want to do that as the race goes on, because we're going to start getting marbles and stuff up there, and that's not going to be nice to run on. Especially when you're running on a tyre compound that's essentially granite. Large hard rubber balls on the outside of the racing line are not fun to run up on. See Schroeder, who's behind me, is actually pitted already, so I wonder if he got a bit of damage. He's disconnected, so struggling out there. A few people are struggling actually. It's not an easy track to go on. We've had a couple of people drop out already. Tyres are actually holding on relatively well for me at the moment. Might be because I've got the pace of a arthritic snail, but you know, at least we're holding on to our tyres. Be quite hard on myself as well, because I want to be on pace with everybody else around me. You know, I know a lot of the other guys obviously doing the commentary and stuff like that. We've got to know each other over the years and things like that. I've been doing commentary for 3 years now. 3 or 4 years. No, 3 years I think. But obviously only been racing for just under a year. So I was still very much a rookie in this series, and I don't race enough in other series as well. It's, you know, I'm literally just doing the ANZCAR stuff and, you know, the odd occasional race in Assetto Corsa Competizione and dirt and stuff like that, so very different racing series, you know. I play Formula 1 2020, obviously. But I use a controller for that because I just don't have the reaction time for a steering wheel. Actually don't mind driving the GP2 car in it, it's quite fun, but yeah, I don't have reaction time on the steering wheel to actually cope with a Formula 1 car. It's just too much for me. and if you can get it down into third around about 6,000 RPM through that corner, you can take it quite smoothly. But yeah, it's, you know, I don't do as much racing as I should. Obviously I can't, because it just knackers me out. It's, you know, unfortunately I'd love to race more, but it's that thing of body won't let me. It's more of a physical thing than a mental thing there. A lot of these other guys have got a lot more experience than me, obviously, so they tend to race a lot more, and you know, that makes a big difference as well. Because practice does pay off, unsurprisingly, in motorsport. It really does help quite a lot when you practice. And the more hours you can put in, the better you get at it, obviously. And that's what I'm trying to do now, is just get those hours in, just get that rhythm, get used to the cars. I'm driving this and the trucks at the moment. That's my sort of two series that I'm focusing on. And I've had some okay and some good results, some middling results as well, and some pretty poor ones, but the main thing for me is just getting the race experience under my cap. And as I said last time out, it's that thing of, you can practice for hours on your own on a closed circuit, and you know, just keep pounding and pounding and pounding and find that perfect line. But you're not going to have that experience, you're not going to have that racecraft and things like that, obviously. It just, you know, the more practice you can put into an actual race, the better it's going to be, and the better it's going to be, the better you're going to be as well. So again, it's that thing of getting the experience, really. I might not be fast, but at least I'm getting the experience and honing my racecraft. It's the thing, it's like any skill, you need to improve on it. So how do you improve on it? You do it. And when you're in a race situation as well, you have to think strategically, and you have to think about not wrecking and damaging your car, and actually making it to the pit stops without causing too much damage to your vehicle. And you can't just jump out for 20 or so minutes and have a rest and take a breather. You can't do that when you're actually racing on a live circuit as well. And that's another thing of that experience, I think, from actually learning in a race rather than learning in a simulated session where you can actually get that bit more experience in. Because obviously, if I damage the car here, I've got to go get it repaired, or I've got to drive around a damaged car for 70 odd laps. Whereas if I do it in a practice session, I just jump out the car, get it repaired, and then just go back out. You know, that's one of those things that you just tend to do. So obviously getting the practice in where you actually have to stay in the car, and you can't just jump out, you can't take a break to go to the bathroom. And you know, drinking's one of the big things. It's like, I really need some water right now because I'm talking, obviously. But it's you know, when you've got a long green like this as well, it's actually a bit of a workout too. And I'm finding I've actually got some arm muscles again, which is nice. And I've lost a bit of weight too, which is also a great thing. So, you know, not only is this a thing for self-confidence and something I love doing, it's also physically helping me a little bit, because I am actually working out my arms, and you know, there is that aspect of a bit of a workout. It's a physical and mental workout almost. but it's not such a... It's not a super strenuous workout. You know, it's not putting on all that strain that you would normally do in a workout. You know, you're not completely straining the body. So I need about a day to recover after a drive in a race, but I'm not too bad afterwards. I don't pull up too badly the next day, which is one of the big things I find can be a problem for myself. Is after exercising, it can take me a couple of days to recover. The joys of living with a chronic illness. Obviously, it's not so much fun sometimes. Everybody's doing a great job of holding on at the moment. There's a lot less crashes than I expected. I sort of expected us to see a caution early on, in all honesty. Tyres are holding on fine now. We've sort of hit that plateau of the tyre drop off. The initial tyre degradation, and sort of the wear, so I feel like we'll be doing one stop tonight now. As I said again, in practice I was chilling through tyres quite quickly. And again, because it was practice, so I was just jumping in, getting some new tyres, and then just going back out again, expecting this to be a high degradation race, when it's actually not too bad, if you're not overdriving the car. Discovered a new trick since last time as well. I've started using a pillow behind my back, and that's helped me a lot in the actual comfort aspect of driving. Because yeah, I was really struggling with back pain last couple of races, just in my mid to upper back. And it's not too bad tonight, touch wood, somewhere. Sure there's wood somewhere. There we go. I will invest in some actual decent gloves soon as well for driving, just because I'm finding the calluses and sores and stuff like that starting to appear. So I'll have to invest in a pair of good driving gloves at some stage. So Matt Hunter's coming in for his pit stop now. Obviously going to be on fresh tyres. So it looks like he's going to try a triple stint. So if we can double stint it, we might be able to get him. Sorry, single stint even. I'm planning on just a one stop tonight. Obviously the other thing as well we've got to think about is fuel, which I'm not going to do with the one stop obviously. Because that's the other thing about a speedway like this, of course, is it's more of a fuel dependent circuit than it is a tyre dependent circuit. So we've got 14 to go. The longer we can go on fuel means the less fuel we have to take on for the end. So we can gain time that way. So again, doing maths on the fly is not my strength. I'll look back at this when I'm editing it and go, you idiot. Try and extend the fuel as much as we can too. Just by short shifting and just So fuel target at the moment looks. Got a fair few laps remaining. We're not being too aggressive on fuel at the moment. Of course, the big thing is with that, you've got to just keep some sort of pace as well. So. Try and keep to about the 1-1 if we can. A few of the leaders are coming in now as well, so see Stephen Clark's come in as well. So up to how's Stephen Clark behind me? That doesn't make sense. No, that makes sense now. So yeah, the leaders are starting to come in for their fuel stops. So obviously if we get to lap 35, then we can make it home on fuel. Guys stopping early are definitely going to lose out because they're not going to make it to the end on fuel without a caution. I think. As long as we keep to this pace, we're actually going to be a bit golden. Those nice hard bits of rubber have come up on our screen. Always nice to get big splodges of rubber on the screen. The other thing I find hard about Pocono is actually the fact that it's very much alike. So sometimes if I'm not actually concentrating enough, I'll go into a corner thinking it's the wrong corner. obviously that's not a great thing to do. So I expect to see people coming into the pit lane very, very shortly. Too much gas there. Watch your exit, Carl. Obviously the car's starting to get light now.
The leader's
too.
pitting now.
So, still got a few more laps of fuel on us.
Okay, we're halfway to the finish. The next car's the leader. You have about 5 laps of fuel left. Inside. Still there, hold your line. Clear.
So we're gonna lose some spots
You're
once
in
we pit, of
4th
course.
position. The leader's pitting now. Inside. Clear. You're back in 4th position.
Managed to keep Matt Hunter about 24 seconds ahead of us
You have
as
about
well.
2 laps of fuel left. The leader's pitting now.
This may be a terrible mistake I'm about to make, but we're going to
You
go
have
no
about 1
tyres.
lap of fuel left.
Just going to replace the rights.
You're back in 4th position.
So we'll just go for one set of tyres because they're running pretty well.
All clear, punch it.
And that would just save us a bit of time as well on the actual pit stop as well. So
Oh man, we're not going to race.
You know what I'm like.
Three viewers just sighed.
Inside. Still there, inside. Still there, hold your
When they see
line.
you start to pull away,
Clear
they go,
inside.
ah, I get it now.
Car outside. Still there, hold your line. Stay low. Clear outside.
could have probably taken a lot less fuel than we did as well. But I'm not confident enough to go playing around with those settings. Now my hope is that a couple of these guys will need to pit again because they won't be able to go on a full tank.
Go high.
So Scotty in front of us is actually like quite hammering the tyres a bit through the corners, you can see. Faster than us, but everybody is at the moment, so that's fine. Of course, this all comes to a cock up if we get a caution. So if we go caution free, I might be okay for this race. Damn you! Hate that corner so much. Get back in the rhythm as well, because I'm starting to go up in that corner a bit too high, and that's not what we want to do. I've bed the tyres in a little bit too, so that's obviously one of the things taking fresh tyres is you've always got to settle back into the rhythm with them. starting to settle down a bit now. And obviously this relies on those guys in front of us having to stop again, so again I'm kind of hoping that they do have to stop for fuel. I guess a good thing is pace is somewhat getting better through the race. I'm actually setting better lap times than I was earlier on. Get on the marbles there, it just is horrific to drive on. The car just loses all front end as you go into that corner as well. It's just, I hate this track so much. Just got to keep an eye on the leaders as well. Don't really want to get in the way of them. Not that I don't have to. Of course, this is NASCAR, you don't have to worry about blue flags in this race. It's not like Formula 1 where, you know, everybody's got to jump out the way of anyone behind them because you can't have racing. You know, I could race to stay on the lead lap and things like that, but it's just going to slow me down and it's going to cause more risk of making a mistake. So I'm not going to worry about it. I know it's boring, but I've shown I do not have the pace tonight.
Outside. Outside is clear.
Just about a second with that move, but you know, start racing people like that, you're gonna start losing more time overall as well. That's the other thing. These guys do need to pit again. They'll wait till the last moment to do it as well. Do a late splash and dash to put as little fuel in the car as possible. I do wonder if a couple of them are starting to ease off pace a little bit just to start fuel saving too, because I can't really apply pressure to them either, which is a shame. It'd be a different story if I actually had pace tonight as well. I could have put some pressure on the people, but obviously can't do that. You know, if you can fuel save and put pressure on the guy in front of you to run harder, they're going to use up fuel quicker as well. But I see Scotty Rankin starting to close on that Hunter, so those two might start racing each other and start wearing their fuel down a bit. So marbles then, fun. Literally, if you just a mill off in that corner, it's just the car just does not want to turn. Clark making a bit of a lunge on Foster, and he's gone wide. So at least we're privy to watching the battle for the lead. So that's something, you know, something to look about, a positive about this race. See, that time we went through that perfectly.
How much is it going to cost me for one of you guys to cause a caution? $10 billion.
I will murder you.
I'll do it for $1.50. How about a six-pack? Anyone for a six-pack for a caution?
How's your fuel looking, Scotty? So obviously Scott there wanting a caution to come out. I think he's starting to run a little bit on fumes. Hopefully that's what it is. Be nice if he is. And I think Stephen Clark's starting to run a little bit low on gas as well, because he's starting to ease off quite a lot through the corners. He's coasting. And I think he's coming in now. So If there's no caution, we could be looking at good. Could be looking good at the moment. Matt Hunt has come in. Okay, so we're going to work up to 9th now. Just have to keep
10
it
to go,
on
next
island.
time by.
So you can see how costly the pit stop is. You can see Matt Hunter there just coming out in front of us, almost a lap down. We've got to keep up a relatively good pace here, just in case people do start running out of fuel on the last lap, so we can actually catch them. Rankin's still putting in some speed, so I think he's going for broke here. He's got a bit of a gap behind him, so he could ease off a bit to save on that fuel if he is running a bit low. Obviously he's not doing that, so he might be able to make it, which is unfortunate for us. on. A couple more people just need to pit. Obviously people will stay out until there's only a vapour left in the car, just in case of a caution. There was one other person that stopped earlier. That was Hamish Gallagher and Matty Raymond. So if those guys need fuel, we could be in for a fairly decent finish here tonight. Which would be nice.
Five to go.
We're getting close to the end, guys. Doesn't look like Scott's running too low on fuel, in honesty. I think he managed to just save enough to get to the end here. So we'll see how that goes. Only had taken a couple of litres less fuel, I think. Again, that's something for next time, so...
Car outside. Outside is clear. You've got 2 laps to go.
Yeah, looks like Scotty's going to make it. Well, could have been a lot worse than it was. Still can be, of course. Never presume a race is over until it's over.
Last lap.
second round for lap 69. 9th place in the end, so not bad actually. Much better than I expected.
Good win, Edward.
Checkered flag, checkered
Thanks,
flag.
man.
Great job. You did really well.
I would have thought we might have got one yellow, but yeah, it was fun for the start, but it tailed off a bit towards the end.
Well done, Edward. Nice job, mate.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was fun while it lasted.
Nice drive, Mirko. Yeah, I couldn't keep a right front under it for the life of me. So both times I pitted, that's when the spotter was saying your right front's about to blow. I'm like, you're joking.
I had like no tyre trouble tonight, but then again I had the pace of an arthritic slug trying to pull along an arthritic sloth.
Okay, the race is over. Bring it on in.
So considering I had no pace whatsoever, that's not too bad in the end.
Go, go, go!
Yeah, quite happy with that in the end. Obviously could have been much better, but could have been worse. So we got inside the top 10, we got 9th in the end. I'm happy with that, I must admit. So keeping it on the track was good. We managed to beat Jason Hartigan, who is very quick, so I don't know what happened to him in that race. Matt Hunter we beat on race pace because he couldn't keep the fuel or the tyre. Tyre wear was not an issue for me really. Fuel was not an issue either. So yeah, it was pretty good all in all. Okay, well thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you again next time. Until then, this is me, Carl Screezilla, out. Bye bye.